Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so today I am bringing you the top best new features of the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. Now this was S9 over here. This phone really has been a very interesting phone with some upgrades that I think a lot of people are really gonna like. Now if you did miss our 10 features of the Galaxy S9, make sure to check out the link in the description down below to see that video. It was a longer video, so I want to make a nice short video about the top 5 best new features that you really want to look at for considering this smartphone. Now, some honorable mentions go out to the fact that we had some improvements with 4G LTE, so in the US this will be faster in some cases, depending on your carrier. You will also get a faster form of Bixby translation. No longer will you have to tap that and then text, or it's just instant translation. So that is a pretty useful feature that I can see come in handy a lot. And you're also going to have 960 frames per second slow motion, so it just goes to a crawl, and that's a really nice one. And this also will help out with live lock screens, which is probably one of my favorites, but I did not put it in the top 5 just because although I love it, I don't know if it's going to be as useful for a lot of other people. So I'll leave that to you, but live lock screens is a really nice feature. More than just a little small motion, but an actual live video, I think is a really nicer touch overall than just a live wallpaper. So that being said, let's get into the top 5 features. Now the first big one is one that was really expected, and that is Samsung's answer to Face ID. And this is going to be called Intelligent Scan. Now Intelligent Scan really is the merger of iris scanning and face unlock into one. Now Face Unlock has been around Android since Ice Cream Sandwich, but it's not as secure. Although it has gotten better over the past years, you still could trick it more easily. It's definitely not as secure. Iris scanning is currently the most secure way to scan your smartphone in terms of security. It is more secure than Face ID. Go ahead, look up the stats. But really overall, it is the most secure, but not as fast. So this blends the two together so that for the most part, it's still using an iris scan, which has improved in speed, but it's also using your Face ID to make up for it in times when the sun is right in front of you and you can't necessarily see your irises. And things such as that nature, where infrared scanning your iris does not work properly. So now it's a lot quicker and it doesn't have as many issues with it. However, you have to keep in mind that you do have the fingerprint scanner in the back middle of the phone now. So you get the best of both worlds. That is what I wanted from iPhone 10, and that is face unlock and a fingerprint scanner in the back. I think that is the best combination, and this phone does have that. So I really have said this is probably one of the most useful features, but we'll see how much mainstream really likes it. Let me know your guys' thoughts. And then we have the next feature, which definitely is a really nice feature, and that is a new improved Lowlight. Now, Google really took this away last year with the Pixel, and a lot of people praised it. I still say that I use my Note 8 during the daytime because it does take better HDR photos for daytime overall. It's more vibrant, and that's how I like my color palette. Whereas the Pixel does more neutral, but definitely does better in low light, as long as there's not a spotlight so you get a lens flare. This is the answer to that, basically, that it improves the low light, but without still getting that lens flare that I hated on the S7, as well as on the Pixel XL and Pixel XL2. Overall, this has been a much better low light, and it's just done through the hardware instead of doing it only through software. And that is the aperture on this phone is now f1.5. And it really blends them together nicely, so you do get a nice merger of the two, basically doing what Google did with software, and that is merging two different f-stops to get the best overall photo using software technology. This is overall really awesome low light camera, and it's definitely going to be something that a lot of people will notice when comparing it to your old Note 8 or any of those phones. Now, the next big part of this is going to be AR emojis. Now, AR emojis is literally taking your facial expressions, like Animojis on iOS, and it takes all of your facial expressions and then think about emojis. You have a crying one, you have a happy one, all that kind of stuff, and you can send it anywhere. Well, that's what you can do with AR emojis. Blend it together. So instead, you are literally making your own avatar. Think of it as Bitmoji, if any of you guys ever use that. I used to use those all the time because it was a personal emoji. But now this one is exactly like you. Your hair, your motion, if you raise your eyebrow, everything is structured the same way. I love that, and I am going to be doing a lot of AR emojis like this all the time, sending those off. But I really just like the entire experience of it, that it's more personal, and who would use a regular emoji after this? That's my big thing. And the fact that you can pretty much send them anywhere is a huge plus, that it's not limited to just text messaging, or in Apple's case, just iOS. It's really anyone can use these and receive these for the S9. So that's really cool that you have that. I don't think this is going to be coming. I know a lot of people are going to ask me to the Note 8 or anything like that, just because the face scanning is really what does this. So because of intelligent scan and the improvements that have been made on that, that's what allows the phone to do this. So no, it will not be coming to older devices, but this really is something that I think will surprise a lot of people how good it is. And one thing that people have been waiting for, especially me, as I've said, this has been Samsung's biggest issue for years, is going to be the dual speakers. So on this phone, Samsung has Dolby Atmos stereo speakers. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that Dolby Atmos is controlling these speakers. So it has Dolby software tuned with AKG speakers. So basically you have stereo speakers. Yes, the earpiece is going to be the second speaker. It sounds a lot better than any past Samsung before, but you also get to use Dolby to create music profiles. So if you're watching a movie and you rather have it that, or if you're listening to music, it will change the profile and you will be able to customize your own later on. So this is a really big improvement on any past Samsung phone, because Samsung speakers have traditionally been garbage in the past, but now this is really a new leaf to be turned. And we will be doing comparison videos on these speakers from the Note 8 and the iPhone 10 from before versus this phone to really show you guys the difference. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And finally, the top feature is definitely going to be the Galaxy S9 will film in 4K at 60 frames per second. Now, this is a huge improvement, and if you haven't followed my videos for a long time, you have known that really in our hidden features video, how to do this normally was 1080p at 60 frames per second. 4K at 60 frames per second is a whole nother level, and it's going to be doing this by also changing it to HEVC file type, which means it's going to be a smaller video type, even though it's a better quality. This is really awesome because it will allow you to be able to send these file formats more easily, especially with Samsung's link sharing ability, where you can send up to a 2 gig file over text message. So this is really an improvement that I think a lot of people are going to like. I'm going to definitely be posting a lot of videos about this, but just to give you an idea, I mean, I have $2,000 cameras in my studio and neither of them do 4K at 60 frames per second. So that is something that I have been waiting for a long time, and it's going to allow for a lot more shooting with my smartphone than I would normally have done before, especially with this new improved aperture as well. It just really brings filmmaking to a whole nother level on Android that we've never really seen before. Trust me when I tell you, this is a noticeable improvement, and when you see it, it is a wow factor. Alright guys, let me know which was your favorite feature. Which feature do you think makes you say, hey, I want to buy a new Galaxy S9? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to share this with everyone that wants to know about the Galaxy S9. Again, it will officially be announced later this week, although I just told you all the best features, so stay tuned to subscribe and find out all of our hands-on features next week. Thank you guys for watching. This has always been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.